So I have the door next to me open because it's quite warm in here at the moment, so if you hear any outdoor noises, that's the reason why. I am going to give you a little bit of an update on my progress with reading series this year, and particularly because I'm changing some of the series that I'm reading up. I did say at the beginning of the year that it was like a planned list at the time, but that it would probably change. So I'm actually doing pretty well. As you know, I wanted to read 23 series in 2023 and I have read 15. Or is it 16 now? Yes, I have finished 16 series so far this year. So it is going well. At this point it's sort of mid-August. So I should be able to finish this challenge, which I'm really pleased about. So I'm going to run you through firstly the ones that I have finished. Some of those have replaced series that were on there before, in which case I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you which series that are still on the list that I am planning to read still, or that I'm planning to take out and replace with something else. Hopefully all of that will make sense as we go through it. So in terms of finished series, I finished the Alcatraz series by Brandon Sanderson. I finished the Tawny Man, Rainwild Chronicles, and the Fitz and the Fool series by Robin Hobb. I finished Winnowing Flame series by Jen Williams. I finished The Drowning Empire by Andrea Stewart. The Last Herald Mage and The Collegium Chronicles by Mercedes Lackey. I also started and decided to DNF The Vows and Honour duology by Mercedes Lackey. That one's told in more short story style format and just really wasn't for me. I did say at the beginning of the year that DNFs would count. I finished that first book and have decided to DNF the series, so it does still count. I may still replace it if I have time, but it is still counting as a tick on my list for now. I finished the Last Hours trilogy by Cassandra Clare, the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy by Kerry Maniscalco, the Celestial Kingdom duology by Sue Lynn Tan, the Starlight's Shadow trilogy by Jessie Mihalik, the Brown Sisters trilogy by Talia Hibbert, the Divine Cities trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett, and the Six Crimson Cranes duology by Elizabeth Lim. So those are the 16 series that I have finished so far this year. Very good progress. As you may know if you've watched a couple of my more recent videos, I feel like my reading tastes are really changing at the moment, and I'm really particularly being grabbed by adult epic fantasy, particularly slow-paced fantasy, and particularly fantasy from the 80s and 90s. So that's why some of what's left on this list is going to change. So what I have left is the Cytoverse, which has the final book coming out in November. I do still plan to read and finish that this year. I'm planning, if I find the time, to do a reread of the first 3 books and probably the novellas as well, and film some recap or plot summary videos for you, because those seemed to be really helpful when I did them for the Founders trilogy last year. Gosh, that was a while ago. So I think I'll probably do that. I can't remember if I've discussed this already, but I had the Atlas trilogy on this list initially, which is the Atlas 6 books, because I thought that the third and final book would be out this year, but actually it's not out until January. Might even get pushed later than that. So I had to replace it, and I replaced it initially with The Reckoners by Brandon Sanderson because I still haven't read that series, but it's YA and I'm just not really feeling YA at the moment, so that one might change. The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne will possibly change as well. I feel like I need to be in a really specific mood to read something as grimdark as that, and I'm just not in that mood right now. Then we have the Aurelian Cycle by Rosaria Munda. I am still interested in reading that, but accessing the audiobooks is a little bit on the tricky side in the UK for some reason. So I think I'd have to buy them from Audible, and I think they're also YA, so I don't know if I'm necessarily in the mood to do that just now. I have 3 books left in Throne of Glass. I really want to finish that series this year. I feel like I've been saying that for years and I don't know why I'm not doing it. Probably because I don't absolutely love them, I just like them fine. But I do want to finish the series, so I need to crack on and do that. I have a couple of blank spaces here, and I can't remember which books were there. I think the Diviners were here, but the Collegium Chronicles replaced the Diviners quartet. And I can't remember what these other two that I've deleted. Oh, one of them was Legends of the First Empire series by Michael J. Sullivan. The reason I've got rid of that one is because actually now that we have finished buddy reading The Realm of the Elderlings, Joanna and I want to buddy read another series together, and Michael J. Sullivan's books seem like a good way to go. So we will probably start that buddy read this year. It's just that we won't finish all 6 books in that first series this year, so I've taken it off the list and replaced it, or will be replacing it. There was something else here. Oh yes, I also had the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks on this list, and for similar reasons to The Faithful and the Fallen, I'm not so sure if I'm going to get to that. So I've tentatively taken it off for now. It might go back on, but for now it's not necessarily top of my list anymore. So then we come to potential replacements. I've already put the House Witch trilogy on my list because I read the first book this year. I really liked it. It was really cozy and slow moving and cute, and it did kind of give me 90s fantasy vibes specifically, and I said it at the time, it gave me the vibes of that particular scene in Disney's The Sword in the Stone where Merlin is helping Merlin is helping Arthur pack up his stuff and then also clean the kitchen. So really enjoyed that, and there are 2 more books in that series and I purchased them. I got a gift card for Amazon recently, so since they're self-published and you can't buy those books anywhere other than Amazon, I bought them and I'm really looking forward to reading those 2. In terms of other books series that I can add to the list, I mentioned, or maybe you haven't seen it yet, you will see me talk about the fact that I would quite like to read the Green Creek series by TJ Klune, which that first book there is Wolf Song. So there's that one. I have been recommended the Rook and Rose trilogy quite a lot. That's the one where the first book is The Mask of Mirrors, so that's a potential option. I recently hauled Cryer's War, which is the first book in a duology, so I could give that one a go. There's also the series that I am currently reading, which is the Herald Spy trilogy by Mercedes Lackey, and then the series that came out directly after that is also chronologically next, and I might also want to then read it next as well, which is the Family Spies trilogy. There's also the Mage Wars trilogy in Valdemar that I'm really interested in reading because it's chronologically first in the world, so I think it could be really interesting. So again, I really think I want to do a Valdemar based video at some point. I also recently hauled the Queens of Innisleer, and that's the first book in a duology as well that I could potentially read. So I've got lots and lots of options, but so far so good in terms of series. I have finished a lot this year and I've got lots to choose from to read the last 7 that I need to read to hit my 23 in 23 goal. So that's where we're at with series. If you have any questions about any of this, then let me know down in the description box. In the description box? No, in the comment section. And if you have any recommendations of slow-paced epic fantasy series written in the 90s, particularly written by women in the 90s, 80s and 90s, we can go a little bit earlier than that, that kind of time period, you know, then let me know. I am very happy to receive recommendations, and that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks. Bye.